All right, EDU 304. Let's talk about Enneagram number 4 today, the romantic. I'm going to go ahead and move through these slides quite quickly. And let's talk about this spectrum where the romantic, as they are often referred to, can experience health to a lack of health. In a state of health, fours are very creative, emotionally honest and connected, attuned to the beauty that surrounds them, and have a considerable emotional range. In a state of average health, fours are prone to struggle with learning to accept themselves as they are, and they often seek their identity by exaggerating their own uniqueness, by viewing their problems and their circumstances, their heartaches, their challenges as unique to them alone, and are often typified as moody, melodramatic, self-pitying, or moody. At the unhealthy end, fours can be manipulative, and they can play the role of the victim in order to create and maintain relationships with others. As far as the deadly sin for fours, it's referred to as envy, in that a four is prone to envy the perceived normalcy or happiness or sense of comfort that they believe everybody else other than themselves experiences. They feel that there's something important missing from their essential makeup, like they're isolated in some way. As they look at a group of people interacting, they feel like they're always the outsider, and they're the one to blame for that. They believe that they're alone and, and have some tragic flaw when they compare themselves to others, and they see that others are more athletic than they are, they're more socially adept than they are, they're maybe smarter than they are, and they yearn to join the party, but for some reason convince themselves that they're disqualified from that. The number 4 is the most complex of any number on the Enneagram. There's a sense of alienation, a search for identity, a preoccupation of themselves as unique from other people. Sometimes they'll romanticize death, strong feelings of elation and pain. If you could, and if you've read Romeo and Juliet, this is very much the Romeo type character, right? The highs have never been higher. When a 4 is in love and excited, there's nothing that can compare to that feeling in the universe, but their lows are so much lower than anyone else's either. Some adjectives that describe them are melancholy, angst, existential, dissatisfaction, or lonely. There's a need within the number 4, because they feel isolated, to convince themselves that they're special or unique in some way. And in contrast to the number 3, when we talk about feelings, 4s don't so much have feelings as they are feelings. They're oftentimes described by their emotions. Maybe you have a friend who is like this, who every time something negative happens, they wear it on their sleeve. Or if there's a moment of positivity, maybe they wear that on their sleeve. And so what's unfortunate is that oftentimes other numbers, when they look at a number 4, they identify that person by the number that they're experiencing. I see that down here at the bottom, part of this is cut off. I apologize. But this is just a reminder, and I mentioned this in the last lecture, that all members of the heart triad, 2s, 3s, and 4s, reject the idea that they can be seen for who they really are. And so with the 4s, there's this sense that they are a person that they cannot share with other people. Maybe not because they won't be accepted, maybe because they'll be misunderstood. The talk style naturally of a 4 Romeo type person is poetic. They're attracted to the offbeat, to the alternative lifestyle or music style. This might manifest itself in alternative dress or piercings or tattoos or anything that they perceive as unique. And they're very adept at learning metaphorically, viewing the life through story and symbol in a much more sort of artistic minded sense than our other numbers on the Enneagram. Oftentimes in childhood, the number 4 grew up believing that they were different somehow and or misunderstood by others. They appear very approachable in some sense, in that their emotions are worn on their sleeves, and they're able to engage in emotionally with other people. But at the same time, because they feel that they are so different and unique, they can often also appear unapproachable or unavailable to others. And they're going to capitalize on their differences, their uniqueness, rather than on what joins them to other members of the human race. Oftentimes in relationship, 4s fixate on what's missing in their lives and are blind to what's present. So they've just gone through a terrible breakup and they fixate on the fact that they are no longer in relationship with that one person. And they might neglect the 10 other people that have come by to support them in that time of need. So there's this kind of focus on the glass being half full, or excuse me, half empty rather than half full. And that poses challenges if you're friends with a 4 and they're in one of these low emotional situations. It's a challenge posed, how do I comfort and care for this person? They have very rich imaginations and fantasy lives. They're often very reflective of the past. They might remember birthdays or anniversaries of certain things, when they have happened, what time of year a certain event was held. As I mentioned, they're known for wearing clothing that might set them apart. They're very intense in that they want to get to the heart of the matter. Sometimes they're a challenge in the classroom because superficial answers don't satisfy them. They want to dig down to the roots of the issue, to the marrow within the bones. And as I noted, their highs being so high and their lows being so low can be challenging to friends, parents, partners, and so on. In times of stress, a 4 might resort to an unhealthy 2, where they become excessively dependent upon other people, codependent even, in that they can only make sense of their own lives and identity in relation to other people, whether that's a romantic relationship or a friendship. They crave attention, need a lot of reassurance and affirmation. And so as you consider what this might look like in your K-12 classroom, it's a sort of a constant, when you think about feedback that you're providing for these students, a lot of reassurance that yes, they are on the right track, yes, they are behaving appropriately, yes, they are doing what's expected of them. In times of security, however, a 4 might develop some traits of healthy 1s, where they stop talking about all of their creative ideas and actually develop the discipline to see a project through. They're able to become more aware of the present and the gift that is present within right now, rather than being so focused upon the past. Unfortunately, I haven't added a slide of potential careers for number 4, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this lesson up a little bit early. I hope that you have a wonderful Easter break if you're watching this according to the regimen on the syllabus addendum, and I will see you back again next week.